I am Dawn Zimmer. I was elected to the 4th Ward City Council on June 12th, and today I made an agreement with Mr. Campos to go for a special election because I think the people of the 4th Ward should make the decision as far as who will be the council person. It shouldn't be decided by a judge. Again, I felt that it was important that the people of the 4th Ward make the decision, and Mr. Campos was challenging people on technicalities, really. I mean, if you look at, just to give you some quick examples, I mean, there was one woman who didn't want to deal with having the messenger come to her home, so she left her ballot with the doorman. There was another person who the husband filled out his wife's absentee ballot, and then she signed it. Those are questionable. We don't know. Technically, they shouldn't have done that, but it would be something that the judge would be deciding, and I felt like it should be the people of the 4th Ward that make that decision. So it was very close to call. Both lawyers felt strongly that it was probably moving in the direction of a special election, and so anyway, I felt strongly that instead of either having a judge decide the result or going through this whole lengthy process that would be very divisive for the 4th Ward, that it was better for everyone that we just do a special election. And I feel confident that I'm going to win this special election. I've been out front and center on a lot of issues, working closely with people of the 4th Ward. Well, first off, I mean, we did hire some investigators, but largely I was doing a lot of the investigating myself, along with a good friend of mine who was helping me, and we were going to the Board of Elections, and we looked in the voter books and found numerous signatures that do not match, and we've had a signature expert look at those signatures and confirm that they do not match. So we can't directly pinpoint connect those votes to Mr. Campos. I have a sense that that's where we're going. We're going to be working with the Board of Elections, coordinating with the Attorney General's office to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And then we also found a number of people, many people who don't live in the 4th Ward who voted in the election. And again, we're going to have a much longer challenge list, as far as that issue, because obviously, we've got to have only people who live in the 4th Ward who are voting in this election. So we did find a lot, but it's hard. Again, the information that we found puts us to a special election because it's hard to directly tie it to Mr. Campos. So I haven't come out accusing him of that because I don't know necessarily that they're directly connected to him. But I do know my campaign did not do anything like that. I mean, I'm just doing this because I care about the community, and I certainly would not resort to cheating to try and win this election. Well, first off, there was no voter fraud, and what they're calling voter fraud, again, is technicalities. And what I want, it's people doing innocent, understandable things with their ballots that put their ballots at risk. So again, my example that I gave from, a woman who left her ballot with the doorman, or people, there's many different examples of people. Just, the husband mails the ballot for the wife and tells Jerry McCann, and that puts the ballot at risk. So, I mean, it's technical issues. So they're using the word voter fraud to describe technical issues that came up and, put the whole election. It was only, I only won by 8 votes, so it makes it very close. Now, as far as the HCDO coming in, the people, I mean, it's just absolutely absurd to say that I am an HCDO candidate. I want to say that up front. My campaign spent about $112,000. I raised $60,000 from in Hoboken, from friends and just concerned residents who care about the future of Hoboken. And my husband and I have put in about $45,000, $50,000. We never, ever, ever expected to put in that much money. But, in the first round, we planned on maybe $10,000, and then the numbers just kept going up. But, the HCDO has given me $4,000 in cash, and we did not have HCDO people working for us on election day. I mean, I hired people that, I got a referral from my friend Carol Marsh for people that they had hired. This is an outside firm that is now, I think some of the people are in Virginia working on a campaign, others are in Ohio. They are not HCDO people. So there were absolutely no HCDO people working on my campaign. And so I hate to burst Mr. McCann's revenge bubble, but the HCDO doesn't really care that much whether I win or lose. I mean, I think they think it would be nice because they're pretty mad at how Chris kind of switched sides, but it's not, they're not living and dying as to whether or not Dawn Zimmer wins, because I'm an independent candidate. That's what I've been all along. Yes, I did take some money, but my next door neighbor gave me more cash than the HCDO. When I posted that, I had no idea that a campaign could cost $112,000. And as I said in my last answer, I mean, my campaign was funded by concerned residents who live in Hoboken, who really care about the future of Hoboken, and they donated to my campaign. Mr. Campos's campaign was funded by people in the development community, people outside Hoboken, and I question whether or not he's going to be tied to them as far as the decisions that he has to make, and also the fact that he hasn't even filed 3 months later and he still hasn't filed his elect report. So I have to ask, what is he hiding? The key message I want to send is that I really care about the Fourth Ward. I've been out front and center. I am proud that I got the Open Space Fund passed, and I want to make this election about the issues and not about voter fraud, because there was no voter fraud committed on my side. And so speaking about the open space tax, I'm going to be out there talking to people about the fact that we need more open space in our community. I'm proud of the fact that I got that passed. I think people who are not so interested in parks should see it as a way to slow down development. So people in the Housing Authority, I want them to get out and support it, because it is a way to push back development. And for the seniors, it is a way to push back development. And I am going to be out front and center on the flooding issue, and I am having the water tested. So I'm going to show that we have an emergency situation and we should have a moratorium on development until we figure out a solution. Because that's what the Fourth Ward deserves, that's what Hoboken deserves. Our community is not developing, so I'm going to be out there talking about the issues, making sure that whoever wants to be mayor of this town is going to be answerable to the flooding situation and should be helping us to solve that situation. I'm going to be out making sure that any development that we eventually do includes affordable housing. I'm going to be making sure that people, the Housing Authority, have the quality of life that they deserve. I'm going to be at every city council meeting. I'm going to be at the Housing Authority meetings. I'm going to be at the planning board meetings. You haven't seen Mr. Campos at any of these meetings. The only place you've seen him is with the investigators terrorizing people throughout the entire summer. So I want to make this about the issues. I care about the future of Hoboken. I got into this because I just care about the community, and that's the only reason I've done this. I've hung on because I'm not a quitter. I'm going to follow this through, and I'm going to win this election. So please get out and vote for me on November 6th. Thank you.